G'day guys, Caleb from Everyday Travel. We're here today to do a review, a final wrap up if you will. Now there's plenty of reviews that tell you all the specs, all the exact figures. My review's not going to be like that, mine's going to be real world. Toyota Fortuner, they're rubbish, they're crap, they're no good. They're an SUV, a soccer mum's car. I can tell you that's not the case. This thing has done nothing but impress me. The old girl, she's done a lot. She's got a lot of ticks under her belt. She's driven some bloody hard stuff. She's been pretty reliable considering, and just been a damn good car. My opinion, I think the Fortuner's awesome. So, we'll give you a real world review, but as a family car, as a four-wheel drive, as a tourer, as an everyday driver, because that's what this is. This is my family car that I drive to work every day. I've taken it down some hard tracks. I've copped a lot of slack about having an SUV, having a soccer mum car. And to be honest, that is one of my favourite things about owning a Fortuner. Is, you go, oh, that's an SUV, that's a soccer mum's car. And then you go and drive some crazy hard tracks, some crazy hard stuff, and you're left with these guys with big monster truck four-wheel drives going. Which is great. I love it. Of course, mine isn't a standard Fortuner. I'll give you a real world review of my opinion of owning a Fortuner for 5 years, 150,000 Ks. Let's say abused, flogged, put through its paces, chopped, beaten, modified, but just been loved as a family car, just been enjoyed as a four-wheel drive. Now, it is the end of an era for my Fortuner. We've bought a new car. I'm not going to tell you what that is just yet. You'll see soon enough. I've had to wait 5 months for it. It's almost here. Why do I say almost here? It's still like 7 weeks away, but we're getting there. It's getting closer. So that's what I thought. I need to give a real world opinion of a Fortuner. This thing is a bloody comfy car. One of the comfiest cars I've ever owned. I can do 1,000 Ks in this car. Get out, not be stiff, not be sore, like big 10-hour days. Space-wise, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I've got 4 kids. So when we do go on family trips, we take them all. And like, whilst they're all still little, there's enough room for us. Built of a Hilux, so rugged, reliable. It's just a pretty good car. Space-wise for a family of 6, I find it's good. So my youngest child is 5, my eldest is 14. And then obviously me and Kel. What I find is there's enough space, everyone's comfortable enough that they're not killing each other, well, they've got 4 kids. It's a madhouse. The car's okay. You could definitely get away with having 6 people in this car, not a drama. Second row is okay, you could put 2 adults in there if you had to. Third row, I wouldn't even consider putting an adult in there. There's just no leg room, no space. But that's no different to any other mid-size four-wheel drive on the market. Storage wise, this car's got bloody boxes on boxes on boxes. So got a center console, got a top glove box coolant. That does also have an air conditioner vent in it, so you can keep drinks cool, not cold, but yeah. And then the glove box, got a, I don't know, center hole. You got storage under the console. You got cup holders, you got drink holders, you got big door pockets. You got plenty of places to stick crap. It's definitely good from that storage perspective. I do like that. So having the upswept seats gave you the versatility to just pull one out and put the drawer, the fridge slide and that in. And that was another selling point for me. It would be nice if it was a little bit bigger, because then you could have fit a bigger slide and a bigger fridge. So at the end of the day, it hasn't been a big deal. You know, you think, oh, I'm gonna have to make do, but really it's not that bad. Of course, this thing, proper four-wheel drive, got a diff lock. The short wheelbase makes it capable. It's light, it's nimble, it fits down most tight places. I couldn't fault this thing as a four-wheel drive. Absolutely love it as a four-wheel drive. With everything stupid I've ever driven in this car, with all the abuse I've given it, I've only ever had 2 breakages. One was definitely my fault. The other one may be my fault. So the first one, I don't know if you remember, dropped a bolt out of the sway bar, wrecked a CV boot, and then replaced the CV. CV wasn't broken, but because I didn't want to reboot it, replaced it. Long story short, little issue, my fault. The second one, I bent that lower trailing arm. So the springs sit on the trailing arms on the Fortuner, a little bit of a weird design. Drove up a track, full pressures, not entirely sure what happened, but the spring seat collapsed and it actually bent the trailing arm, caved in. So again, don't know, maybe my fault, but. So if you look at 5 years, everything I've driven, the way I've driven it, my driving style, and my driving style has definitely gotten worse over the years. I drive things harder, I drive rougher, I bounce through things. So, you know, if that's all that's broken, that's pretty good. And the clutch, actually. I did the clutch as well, but the clutch is a wearable part. And I did make it go faster and a lot more talking. So, yeah, it's a given. Reliability. Toyotas are known for reliability. However, the recent diesel Toyotas, DPF has sort of hindered that. Now, warranty issues I've had with my Fortuner. So, DPF issues, I had none. None whatsoever. But I think that is because of my driving style. So, I do 100 Ks to and from work every day. So, I'm on the highway for, call it 35 minutes. Enough to get it hot and go through a proper cycle. And then everything else, I do big trips or long forward driving. So I think that is the main reason I didn't have any DPF issues. Nonetheless, Toyota replaced my DPF under warranty. Didn't think I needed it. Still haven't had any issues. Water pump. So the water pumps in these older, still 5 years old. The water pumps in these 2.8s, they've got a tendency to leak. So, you know, I don't know, there was some fault, something happened, but anyway, mine had a leaking water pump, Toyota replaced it. They actually replaced it out of warranty. It was at like 120,000 Ks. So, you know, you got to give them credit for that. They could have told me to piss off, but they just went, no, we'll change it. So, happy days. They're modifiable. There's heaps of gear available for them now. Like I say, mine is a 2016. I bought it at the start of 2016. They were new to Australia. There was nothing around. So, that's not the case now. There's heaps of parts, heaps of cool gear. Now, as you can see, mine is very modified. I try to say that not sounding like a wanker, but there's no real way. Oh dear. Anyway, mine's got a lot of gear on it. let's say that. There is a video that has got all the stuff on it. The only things I've changed since that video is I've put the dual battery system in, I've body lifted at 1 inch. I don't think a lot more has changed. Bull bar sliders, there's plenty of options, there's plenty of cool gear. I think if you have a standard one, they're still going to be a good car, but at the end of the day, if you're buying it as a four-wheel drive, it's got the potential to be great. What I don't like about the Fortuner, so I hate that there's not a lot of room underneath it to fit bigger tyres. They come out with like a 30-inch tyre, 30 and a half. You can get about a 32-inch tyre on them. That's pretty much it. So I've got a 6-speed manual. You can't get manuals anymore, but the thing I don't like about my manual gearbox is 50's overdriven and 6 is really overdriven. So when you're sitting on the freeway at 100 kilometers an hour in 6th, it's just not enough revs. So you've really got to drive the car. The slightest hill, you've got to change down a gear. So look, it's a little thing, but it annoys me now. And fuel consumption. Fuel consumption doesn't really worry me, to be honest, but I just want to talk about it. When I bought mine, I think they claimed high 7s, low 8s, something like that. Now, even with my Fortuner standard completely stock, I never got 8s. So mine was always in the 10s. As it sits today, the way I drive it, and I drive like an old man on the road. I don't flog it, I just cruise. The way my car is right now, it sits at about 11.5 litres per 100, which is still okay. I'm not upset about that, but it's just nowhere near what Toyota claim. But I feel that most cars are nowhere near what their claim figures are. So what would I do differently next time? I wouldn't go 33-inch tyres. For how much work is involved to get 33s, for how much you need to cut and bash and change things, it's not worth it. Get a big set of 32s and call it a day. I would get rock sliders that have either skids or infill panels. I've got a dent there. What happened? A stick actually come up, hit that bar, and got wedged in there and dented. Because at the end of the day, that's the whole point of having rock sliders. They did their job for every rock I've ever hit. They've held strong, but unfortunately, they didn't save the sills when it comes to sticks. It's not going to be hard to say goodbye to the old girl because I've had her for so long. She's just, it's the end of the era. It's time for something new. It's time for change. One last big trip planned for her too. So my final thoughts. Is a Fortuner a good four-wheel drive, good family car, good SUV? Yes, yes they are. It's bloody comfy. It's bloody capable. Even in semi-standard form, there is still a good four-wheel drive. It'll get you down the beach, it'll get you out in a national park, it'll get you down most dirt tracks. Reality is, most people don't want to drive the crap that I drive. But if you do, a few modifications and you can do it. It's capable enough to do it. It's got a good wheelbase, it's tough, it's reliable. And not only that, it's the underdog. So it's all the sweeter when you do drive something or you do something in it. There's nothing better than saying to your mates, told you so. But that's my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear your opinion. Do you think the Fortuner is a good car? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you think there's a better mid-size SUV out there? SUV, what a wank, I sound like American. Do you think there's a better mid-size four-wheel drive available? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so comment in below. Of course, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And like always, go travel.
Back towards me. Straighten out.